cite my sources. Yeah, I think there's some interview with Steven Spielberg I was reading.
We're a reputable source.
Yeah, I don't readily have these sources available. I didn't know I was going to talk about this.
I don't know.
But, but yeah, he said Spielberg said that his wife basically went on her jogs in the morning and would listen to the audiobooks of Ready Player One, and after she finished it, she was like, "You have to direct this. It was made for you to direct this." And I'm like, "Really?" Like his wife listened to that whole thing and got to the end and was like, "This is a movie that needs to be made."
I don't know. Spielberg directing the movie felt very masturbatory, at least to me. Just because that book is basically mostly about his movies as well.
Yes. I think that's why she said that he had to direct it, was because it was so heavily like Spielberg movies and crap that it was like if anybody else did it, it would be like sacrilege in her opinion. Um,
I think a movie like that would be better, better directed by someone who was inspired by Spielberg as well. You know, keep the tradition alive that way instead of just have Spielberg do it. But I'm not a film director and or a writer, so who really gives a shit?
I mean, if you wanted to keep the spirit of that book alive, you'd have to go with somebody who's fucking just like the biggest fanboy of Steven Spielberg of all time, but refused to retain any of like the
Whatever
morals
made
that
him
he put
good.
into his movies. Yeah.
Did he direct The Goonies?
Spielberg?
I don't think he did, but it's a
Uh,
very Spielberg movie.
he did not direct The Goonies.
Who the fuck was The Goonies?
Richard Donner.
Oh man, what else did he do? Sean Austin
Uh,
was in it.
let's see, what else did Richard Donner do? He did the 1978 Superman, apparently. He did the Lethal Weapon movies.
Oh, okay. Story by Steven Spielberg, though.
Okay. He did the Lost Boys.
Oh, is that the Peter Pan one, right?
Um, no.
No, what?
It's like a um.
Weren't the Lost Boys the boys that like got put in the
Yes,
railroad?
it
Yeah.
was. It's a reference to the Peter Pan story, but no, it has to do with like it's like essentially like postmodern. It's like a postmodern vampire story,
What?
and so it's like this group of kids who are all vampires, but also lived like really shitty lives, and they're just like constantly fighting each other. It's like very like late teens movie, like a lot of punk rock influences, like fight the power kind of thing. My life
Oh,
sucks,
I'm
but
thinking of a
my life
completely
is also
different movie.
eternal.
Okay.
You're thinking of Pan, I think, with Robin Williams
I'm
and
thinking of Hook.
oh, I'm sorry, is it Hook?
It's Hook, and then there's a group called the Lost Boys in it, I believe.
Yeah, well, the Lost Boys is a Peter Pan reference. The group of kids that Peter Pan led around was
Yeah.
called the Lost Boys.
Yeah, yeah. That's what okay, I thought there was a movie specifically about the Lost Boys, but no, the movie I'm thinking of was Hook.
Okay, with such talents as Rufio. Oh, I love Rufio. Then again, everybody loved Rufio because he was the best.
There's also the guy who voiced Zuko. Wasn't that Rufio? Man, I don't think I've ever watched the movie. I don't know.
He voiced Zuko.
Yeah, he voiced Zuko. Rufio's the voice of Zuko.
I did not know that.
Wait, am I right about this?
Dante Bosco.
Yeah, that's Dante Bosco's the voice of
Well, I know that he is the voice of. He was Rufio. Damn.
yeah.
Rufio. Oh,
There was
Rufio
also,
was great.
yeah, there was also a sequel specifically about Rufio called Bangarang. Yeah, it wasn't that
Called
great.
Bangarang.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it.
It's a solid name. Was it named after the Skrillex song, or was the Skrillex song named after the movie and Rufio?
Man, I don't fucking know.
I'm pretty sure Skrillex would name his song after Rufio, because
Oh, it was
again,
a short
Rufio was the
film.
best.
Oh, it's a prequel. I'm sorry, not a sequel. It came out 2017, June 26th, so after the Skrillex song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
But Bangarang did come first in the movie Hook, so maybe Skrillex was the original. It was referencing Bangarang from the movie.
Maybe, hopefully.
I mean-
I choose to believe.
Yeah. Regardless, Bangarang, or I mean, irregardless, Bangarang the Hook prequel is because he uses the Bangarang thingy.
Okay.
Yeah. I could be entirely off base. I haven't watched either of them. It's entirely possible that Bangarang isn't even a boomerang. That's what I'm thinking of in my head,
That's pretty much what I'm imagining too.
right? But yeah. So sorry because we're trying to talk about Ready Player One, which
Yeah, which
A
I
lot of my
still have
friends
not got
do
around
like.
to like explaining why it was so awful.
a lot of
a
people
lot
think
of-
it was bad. I don't know.
A lot of people think it's bad, but I feel like a lot of people just think it's bad because they were told it's bad. I don't know.
I don't care. If people
I-
liked it, people liked it. If
I have
people
strong
hated it,
opinions about the book in and of itself.
Well, that's because you actually read the book. I don't think you can have strong opinions about the movie.
Yeah, I don't have strong opinions about the movie either way.
Well,
I think it's weird that they included a lot of like present day characters, but I mean, you
I mean,
do
it kind of
you.
makes sense.
I mean, it kind of doesn't actually.
No, like if something that an argument I heard from the Rooster Teeth guys. If like you go onto any forum, everyone's profile picture is like just a bunch of random copywritten stuff.
Hmm.
So it kind of makes sense that people's avatars in the VR world are just going to be random references to a bunch of shit.
Yeah, but the point of the whole point of the book was like, and they talk about this in the video you linked me by Just Right to cite my sources.
Right?
Is
as
that
in
like
WRITE?
yes, WRITE? It's like 70s and 80s pop culture became like a religion to these people. Like that era and those like major pop culture and even some of the minor pop cultural like influences from that time were like the sacred texts of God. And so the fact that like almost all the characters are like they talk about like people go out of their way to get items that relate to 70s and 80s movies more than anything else. And so when they were like, oh yeah, Tracer's going to be in it and the characters from Halo, I'm like, I mean, I can understand it. Not everybody is going to be like super 70s and 80s influenced, but like, I don't know. It struck me as weird.
Okay.
But yeah. Also, what fucking Iron Giant was the one I was most annoyed about.
90s?
Yeah, Iron Giant is late 90s. It's like 99, I think, which is like way later than what the whole Golden Egg Hunt is about.
It is 99. I thought it was like
Because
early
it's
90s.
replacing Ultraman,
Oh.
who I think is from the
Ultraman's like
late
70s.
60s or 70s.
Started late 60s, and then, kept going on. I
Okay.
think, no, it was only like... It ended late 60s as well, but it became a franchise, so...
Okay.
The original airing went from July 1966 to April 1967, so roughly a year.
Okay. But yeah, like there like the Ultraman thing is like a reference to something that fuck, I think his name was Halliday. As something that like Halliday would have grown up with or seen as like a child and like been impressioned by it is like I can believe it. The Iron Giant thing, it's like that's like 10 years after he was a kid or like a teenager. Like at that point he didn't care.
I didn't think Ultraman was like shown in the U.S. a lot though. This
I
is
mean,
like,
it's like
ultra
all of
weak
80s
shit.
crap. I mean, he was like an ultra fucking nerd.
that too. Yeah.
He was also like the ultra fucking. Ugh, God, there are words to be said about Halliday as a character as well.
At least he's dead in the book.
He is dead in the book. One of the things that was like the most pitiful thing, and I was so supremely irritated by this. The final puzzle, the answer to it was the name of the girl that he had a crush on, that his best friend / business partner married,
That sounds on par.
because he couldn't let her go. And I'm like, this whole thing was, I'm like, this whole time it was just like this love letter to this dead chick. I hate you.
Yeah, if I was a player in that game, I would be disappointed. I would just leave.
I would refuse the money out of protest. But I mean, it's so on par with like everything else in that book. I've talked about this the last time I brought up Ready Player One a while ago, but fucking goddamn, the MC's like virtue signaling about like I'm so good of a guy because his like internet fucking girlfriend finds out she has a wine mark on her face, and she's like I'm so ugly because she's really self-conscious about it, despite the fact that like even in the book she's described as like 10 out of 10, classically beautiful, has a wine mark. Only thing that's weird about her is the wine mark. And she's like super self-conscious about it. And he like, it's not even like he tries to get her to be like not self-conscious about it. Like I can understand that she's self-conscious about it. It's the fact that the character feels morally superior because he's like, I can look past this wine mark. It's like, dude, everybody can look past that wine mark. She's literally a 10 out of 10. She is so far out of your league.
I don't think I got to that part yet.
Parades around this like I am morally superior to everybody, and he's like this weird stalker also, which is also fucking bizarre.
Oh, Charlie.
He like fucking internet stalks this poor girl. I feel so bad for her.
I just can't stop thinking of Charlie.
And the waitress.
Okay. I'm at like around season 4. I realized that they haven't said her name yet.
Yeah, she's the waitress.
Yeah, she's the waitress. Because, like, I realized, when they were going through the sex tapes, and they're like, oh, fucking, where did you put you? And she's like, he's going going backwards, C-W-W. And she's like, that's not my name. I'm like, oh yeah, it's waitress right here. Waitress.
Waitress, yep. That's Charlie.
Well, no, that was, fucking Dennis with a sex tape.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
Regardless,
well, everybody refers to her as waitress.
Yes. I'm just waiting until she kills herself, because that's probably going to be the ultimate end to her character, I think. But I still have half the rest of that show to watch, or more like a 2/3, some third way.
You're in the 4th season, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I watched the episode where they become cannibals. That was fucking hilarious. This show's just great. I love it.
It's a phenomenal show.
Is it bad that I sometimes relate to the characters?
No, because I've told you you're a sociopath.
No, I'm not.
I've called you Dennis Reynolds for like 3 years now on purpose.
That only started this year.
I started calling you Dennis Reynolds?
This year.
Really?
Well, not even Dennis. You just said you are like Dennis. You never actually called me Dennis Reynolds.
I've called you Dennis Reynolds for sure.
I don't recall, but it's definitely
it's in the episode that you make that the pictures are all Sunny characters. I call you Dennis Reynolds. You say something and I go, okay, Dennis Reynolds.
Maybe. I don't know. I wasn't listening to you because I don't ever. But
I mean, I know that you listened to it at some point because you said that was why you made it that way.
I already made it that way because I knew you guys would say I'm Dennis.
I mean, because you are.
Oh wait, fuck it, whatever. Let's talk about the shows.
I am a golden god.
I'm Dayman. Fight over Night Man.
Fighter of the Night Man.
Comes at the night and touches me. Oh, alright. What would you like to start out with first?
Matrimony. Let's start out with Grand Blue.
Alright. This episode was split into 2 parts. The first part, shit. Yo.
Oh, before we begin, I'm Nick.
Oh. I'm Brandon.
And welcome to APC.
That took me a while to remember my name for some reason.
I was wondering why you were pausing.
Well, I'm also trying to think of like what happened in fucking Grand Blue. Oh, the first half was they become bartenders. The second half is they stay completely shit.
They're assholes to their friend.
So yeah, in the first half, they decide that they don't want to do part-time work because it's too hard because they have to lift heavy shit. While fucking massive Samoan guy is just pumping this shit out like fucking nobody's business.
Yeah.
So they decide to go to a bar, and there they find out what Blondie is doing, and that's bartending. They thought he was a stripper. I think they were disappointed that he wasn't a stripper.
Well, first they think that he's either a stripper or he advertises for a brothel.
Yes. But they don't mention that in like when they see him in the bartender or in the bar. Instead, he's either like a super skeevy bartender who like overcharges drinks or is a stripper.
Yes. Well, I think that's like a unique to Japan thing. Is this like, you know, you get like really large charges for stuff as a bartender kind of thing. Like this joke has been done in other shows. Like I've seen this joke before.
I mean, it's also a joke in like American media. That was a thing in It's Always Sunny where they order margaritas and they can't afford it because it's so fucking expensive.
No, not like not just like it's really expensive to get drinks there, but it's always like the Japan version of it is like, you know,
It's the bartender's fault?
well, it's like hidden charges essentially, where it's like, oh yeah, the
Oh.
drink was 500, and then the fee for sitting on the chair was 10,000 or something.
No, I haven't noticed that. I can't read Japanese, so I don't know what the receipt was for. I just assumed it was expensive drinks.
Well, I've seen like other instances of that same like skit where the bill has been like read out a little bit better, so I understand it a little bit more. And it's
Okay.
always like some hidden charge that it's like, and this thing for 100,000 yen.
For living. For
Yeah.
breathing the air near me.
That girl that
Okay.
you were chatting up was actually our employee. The entertainment charge is
Here you go, sir. It was
1
premium
million.
price.
yeah,
Don't blame me, blame her. She's the one that
So-
came up with the prices.
exactly. She's actually the owner. So yeah, they either thought he was one of those like hidden charges bartenders, or he was like a male stripper still.
Which I'm pretty sure male stripping would be a lot more lucrative in this case.
For this specific blonde guy, absolutely.
Yes. So they decide to, well, they don't really decide to start bartending. Instead, the owner of the establishment says, hey, you guys can probably bartend. Go ahead and do it. And so they try it. Of course, they're complete fuck-ups, so they can't do anything correctly. And they have a couple of puns involving drink names.
Yes.
Mostly Screwdriver, wherein the joke is they just hand someone a screwdriver.
I appreciated the return of that joke where they
Which is a
give them a
flathead.
different screwdriver. That was a great like return of the joke. Was like you
Yeah.
fucked this up, but they were like, oh, the other screwdriver. They give him the flathead instead.
I thought the return was funnier.
It was
than just the
absolutely
first
funnier.
one.
The first one was obvious when they were like, oh, drinks are going to be named after what they are, and then they were like screwdriver, and it's like, okay, I know what's going to happen. So the return of the joke was way funnier because I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, exactly. And then once again, we question Iori's sexuality, where the master, or fuck, I don't
Did
know,
the master asked really ambiguous questions about it?
Yeah, I don't ever know why people do that. God damn.
Yeah.
I think I don't really like jokes like that because it's just so obvious. Like you knew the moment that like fucking it was Blondie and Naruto were like, oh, they have a naked temple relationship. You knew he was gonna ask really stupid questions that don't actually like narrow anything down at all.
Yeah.
Because everyone in that fucking bar had like hair up to there, and what was the other fucking one? Like, are you going out with someone? Oh, I guess.
Oh, is
so.
is there barriers between you and them dating?
I mean, when isn't there?
Yeah. And then and he imagines the guys that want to kill him,
Oh, right, yeah.
who make an appearance in the next half of the episode, and continue to be the worst human beings alive.
The Scum Squad returns.
Oh my god, they were awful this episode.
Hold on. So it ends. Or this part of the episode, or this part of this half, ends. I forgot how, which is what I'm going to be saying a lot. How did it end?
Oh, the master passes out, and Iori says
Okay.
like, "Wake
Oh.
up, or you don't want to know what'll happen to you." And then he's just wide awake.
Yeah, for those couple seconds, I thought we were back in fucking Banana Fish for a second.
Ooh,
Ooh, yeah. Heavy shit. That's why I'm
Heavy
making
shit.
a joke about it.
I don't want to joke about Banana Fish. That shit got dark today. We'll get there at the end.
No.
We'll get there at the end.
Press F.
Yeah,
Press F twice.
stop. We'll get there at the end, Brandon. Please, we're saving it to last.
Okay, well, anyways, the second half starts, and you know, a couple of friends having drinks. Normal shit. Until
Yep.
they realize that one of their friends is missing. And instead of, you know, being glad that, you know, he's with someone, they're like, man, fuck that guy.
Right. As soon as they realize that he's with somebody, they're like, "All right, so get the shovels. Get the shovels."
I do like that they were panning over to Yamamoto's, like, I don't know if it's hentai or just porn, But whatever it is, his collection up in the corner, that's a good way of kind of foreshadowing the joke that's about to happen without explicitly saying it.
Yes.
Because they don't actually explicitly say, this is your porn collection until after the joke has already been done.
Right.
And, that right there, that's good direction. Anyway.
I mean, it works in a lot of ways, as of, like, showing you that he's, like, very open and very lonely about it, and then it works for, like, leading into the joke that comes up.
Yeah. Although, I think it's, like, the second time that's happened where just guys in this show just have porn lying around.
I mean, they feel like the kind of guys that would.
Scum Squad. Anyways, yeah, Iori makes a call. He finds out that he's totally down, or that his friend is totally down with some other chick right now. So they decide to fuck it up. We get a shot of... at first, I thought it was going to be a misdirect. I didn't actually think he was going to have sex with that girl. But, like,
you didn't think he was going to smash?
No, I didn't... Well, he doesn't, technically.
He doesn't. He does not technically smash.
But I wasn't actually expecting him to almost be having sex with the girl.
You thought it was going to cut over there and it was going to be like they were doing something and it just happened to be on his bed?
No, not even that. Like, he just wasn't with anyone. I thought that was going to be the joke.
Oh, okay.
He was actually just lonely at his house, drinking alone.
He's playing like an eroge on his TV and that just happened to be the line?
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking was going to happen.
Okay.
But no, there's actually a chick with him.
Yep.
So that was kind of funny to me, at least.
I was pretty certain he was going to smash. Of the six of them, he would be the one. He was the only one I could reasonably believe.
I mean, he's still a piece of shit, just for what happened at the last minute.
I mean, at the end, he becomes a human piece of shit, but, like, he's the only one that looks decent enough.
Anyways, although, no, in canonically, Blondie is supposed to be very attractive.
Is he?
Yes,
okay.
canonically he's
I guess I'm influenced by all of the anime gear that he constantly has.
That's the point, like, nobody likes him because he's such a fucking weeb.
Including, we didn't mention this, in the very first shot of the episode where they're, like, imagining going to Osaka, I think, and he's holding the volleyball with the anime girl on the front of it.
Yo, that merchandise, it keeps the industry alive.
It does. It absolutely does. But he cannot be seen without some, like, fucking anime girl.
Exactly.
He lives that 2D life, as we saw.
Oh, no sir. Not unless the 2D crosses over, which we'll get into after we explain the first joke, wherein they decide to knock on his door and tell him that his porn collection has arrived. And when he doesn't answer, they just start shoving it through the fucking
mail slot.
The mail slot. This still does not deter a girl who has giant knockers, by the way.
She was pretty stacked.
Yeah. This does not deter her. So, Blondie tries, No,
first
yet.
we have... No, the silhouette game.
Oh, yeah. That happens, like, once.
Yeah, Iori plays one instance of the silhouette game.
Where I don't even know why.
I don't remember what the silhouette was.
Venus...
Oh, the Birth of Venus.
Birth of Venus, yeah. I think he said it was, like, some other thing. I don't know. It was his dumb joke.
He definitely said, like, it's something else, and it surprised white hair.
White hair?
Like,
oh.
I mean, he has, like, whitish hair.
Lighter blonde hair?
Lighter blonde hair? I'm gonna call him white
Brock.
hair.
Just call him Brock, because he doesn't open his fucking eyes.
Oh, Brock. Okay.
He's Brock.
I thought you said call him Brah. Like,
Brock? No.
Like B-R-U-H, and I was very confused.
He's Brock with a hairdo. Anyways, that's one of the things that was, like, kind of annoying me, where Iori was actually talking, and Brock could hear him, but the chick was just like, oh, I'm just gonna be deaf for this part, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, after that, we hear that Blondie doesn't actually care about this. One, because, he's all about that 2D life, 3D PD. We understand.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anyways, something changes, though. Apparently, this girl is childhood friends with Brock and decides to call her big brother for some reason. I don't know.
Yes. She whips out the Oni-chan in her high pitch.
Blondie is just totally down with that. Oh, he's just ready to go.
He cannot deal.
No. This has made him jealous. So he decides to fuck it up for him.
He was so salt. It was unbelievable how salt he was that they were childhood friends.
So, after their initial fake out with girls does not work out, where he changes his name to some random girl's name and asks them to stop cheating on him.
Oh, right.
Blondie
Blind
decides
question.
to show his voice acting prowess, which was really good.
Yeah.
And very off-putting. I was not happy.
I mean, I'm
with it.
pretty damn certain they got different voice actresses to do those
Alright.
voices.
Yes, that was the point. But let your suspension of disbelief.
Okay,
you know,
imagining that Blondie
Yeah.
can actually do those voices, that would be creepy as fuck.
Yes,
Yes.
that was very disconcerting. Anyways, that seals the deal. She is not okay with any of this. She decides to leave, and he decides that it's okay that they should break up. This
I did
makes-
appreciate though in Blondie's like, you know, I can talk in different voices. Every time he did a different voice, what he looked like changed to become like more and more girly.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Oh yeah, he gets like more and more girly as time goes on. It's great.
Wow. I guess his voice did get a little bit more high pitched as time went on.
The last
like-
one was like super feminine. It pretty much looked like a blonde-haired girl.
Okay.
It was
I know the
great.
first time it was. I'm pretty sure that it was actually the voice actor doing the girl voice, and then after
Okay.
that, it's actually they're switching out to actual actresses,
Right.
or it could still be him. Who the fuck knows? We'll need to look at the credit. I can't read Japanese. I don't know.
I can't. Yeah, either. I wouldn't be able to
Who
tell you.
the fuck cares? Maybe it is him. Anyways, the Scum Squad is now happy because they've successfully cock blocked their friend because they're pieces of shit.
Yep. Well
But-
put.
Brock he just keeps on fighting, and instead of just letting it go, he decides to ask his childhood friend if she has friends who will fuck him.
Well, first they were like, look at him. He's got tears in his eyes, and I was like, oh, he really cared about this girl. That's so sad. And then we get the whole like, do you have any friends you can introduce me to? And I was immediately just like, never mind. This whole time I'm like, your friends are assholes, dude. Like, they're fucking you over. You were gonna get some. They were mad jelly about it. That very last sentence, and I'm like, fuck this dude too. Fuck everybody.
This is
You all
always
suck.
sunny on the beach in Japan,
Yeah. Where's the rum ham?
well, we might get that in Okinawa.
God.
Get me some milk steak.
What's your favorite food? Milk steak. I'm not gonna put that, Charlie. Just put steak. No, put milk steak. She'll know what it means.
And that was Grand Blue. Still looks like shit, by the way. It hasn't improved one fucking bit.
No,
I'm pretty
not
sure
at
it's
all.
actually getting worse.
They're probably like bleeding money at this point. I can't imagine this studio has gotten like a cash infusion, and so like they're probably trying to save as much money for their final scenes.
There aren't going to be any final scenes though. Like, it's just instead of like saving stuff for the final scene, I feel like they should have just made everything look nicer.
I mean, I assume that like they're trying to save it up for whatever they're doing with the trip to wherever, Okinawa, Osaka, I don't remember.
I just want maybe it's going to be the strip poker they're playing next episode. Was it strip
Oh,
poker?
they're playing strip poker?
Oh, they're playing Truth or Dare, and
Ooh,
the King's Game. Oh, that's what it
And
was.
the King's
And the
Game?
King's Game. So things are going to get lewd,
Things are gonna get spicy.
and I can't wait.
Will Iori pick on Chisa?
I fucking hope so.
There is a
Well,
100%
more importantly,
chance.
will Chisa pick on Iori? Because that's what's
Will
really
Chisa
important.
bitch slap Iori is the better question.
Oh, yes. Show me this.
Brandon, next episode. Stop. I can only get so erect. I just can only get so erect.
Speaking of erections, snakes. There were snakes in Satsuki
Satsuki
no
Tension?
Tension. Yes, the white snake more precisely.
Yes,
I
there
think
were some
that's-
long white snakes.
I don't think that's a phallic symbol though in this case.
The snake?
The white snake. I think that's a Japanese thing. Because Orochimaru also had like the white snake thing going on.
Yeah, I don't think it's a phallic symbol in Japan.
Well, snake in general usually is, but white snake specifically, I think is something different. I don't know
Right.
why.
It's more I associate it usually in like a lot of anime more with like a very like
Sinister?
religious connotation.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah.
Like a lot of this, like anytime there's like spirit animals, there's always a white snake.
Yeah. You're right.
Like I'm pretty sure the fuck. Goddamn, what was it? I can't remember anymore. I cannot
Miasma.
remember the name of this thing. Anyways, yeah, there was two snakes in Satsuki no Tenshi. Only one of them probably existed,
I mean, the other one bled.
or they were both hallucinating.
I wouldn't say that, because usually if they're hallucinating, you'll have that purple visual cue. Like,
Okay, yeah, good point. The purple visual did come up for the first snake. I kind of forgot that.
also, it was much bigger. And I'm pretty sure, in like a couple of frames, I don't think the snake was animated. They were just making the snake bigger. Like, they were just stretching it.
Like it didn't actually move. The like image just kind of interesting.
Yeah, like the snake they just expanded it a little bit more, and that's it. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I'll have to look through the frame. Well, I'm not going to. But if I were a reputable person, I would look through it again just to make sure. But I'm pretty sure it wasn't actually animated. But anyways, starting off the episode, I don't even know her name. Silent Anime Girl number 100 goes down into bottom floor number 1 or bottom
Rachel
floor number
Gardner.
7. Who the fuck cares at this point? I don't.
Okay,
But yes,
sure.
Gardner, Flower Gardner, goes down to find the bandages for Screaming Kid,
Yes,
Zach. Why isn't his name Jack? Whatever, Zach.
Zach.
As well as his Bowie knife. After she finds that stuff, she goes over to the priest. The priest then says, "All right, let's get back to my floor. We skip going through the floors because that's actually a good choice. You
Yeah.
don't need to see all that crap again." And then he lays down the beat down where he's like, "Yo, lady, you're fucked up. Everything's your fault."
There's also before we left
Oh my
Zach's
God,
floor,
right.
we also saw all of the bloody bandages, which implies that
Oh yes,
either Zach has some sort of like
ongoing wound.
ongoing wound biological problem, or he's been like treating people down there while he's killing them. I'm willing to more believe the ongoing wound theory than he's treating his victims.
Yeah, because
But-
I'm pretty sure it's like some burn. That's probably why he doesn't want to take his stuff off.
I mean,
I don't know.
I assumed it was like some sort of burn, but like long-term burns don't really like bleed like that, I think. Like he wouldn't be
Yeah.
constantly leaking blood if it was a burn.
Who knows? We don't really know like what the history is of this place, so maybe it's meant to signal that he's fought more people and has had to patch himself up or something. I'm
Yeah,
not
that could be
sure.
it. I don't know.
This is probably something that'll be further
Developed.
developed a little bit later. But we forgot an important part where Danny is just kind of
Right.
talking to Zach for a little bit.
Yes.
And they have their super edgy, throwdown, trying to figure out who's going to kill Rachel. And I didn't really like this starting scene. I didn't really like
Oh.
it because I just
Huh.
don't like Danny, and I already don't really like Zach. So them just kind of being very annoying to each other wasn't for me.
I mean, they both have weird voices. I'll give you that.
It wasn't even the
Danny's
voices.
was,
It was mostly just
Danny's was weirder than Zach's. Zach's normal voice I'm fine with. Danny's voice is like it gets on my nerves. It's very creepy.
I don't
also
think
the
it's
two eyes
creepy
thing is
in
weird.
like a creepy way though. It's just creepy in an annoying way, like just because.
It's creepy in like the I'm mentally deranged way. In like anything that's sort of mentally deranged is like it just sets my teeth on edge. But it's not like I'm afraid of him. It's just more like it just I don't know. It's more like the disgusted way.
I just still don't get that. I'm
Um,
just constantly repulsed.
Okay. But they talk about Rachel's eyes
Yes.
and Danny is of the opinion that they're great as they are, which I assume he means that like I want to die mentally broken look, versus Zach and the opinion of like I want her to feel alive before I kill her.
Oh, I just thought he wanted her eyes. Like just
No, because he didn't
literally
want
her
them
eyes.
before. In the first episode, he doesn't want them at first. It's not until she remembers and mentally breaks that Danny suddenly wants her eyes. So Danny
Okay.
wants her dead inside. Zach wants her alive.
Okay.
So they're at like they have like a
ideological.
An ideological crossroads that they exist at. That I assume is going to be important at some point. I hope is going to be important. Now that Rachel has sort of started to have like an emotional epiphany.
You mean just emotions in general now?
Yeah. I mean, she did have an epiphany.
Well, yes, she had an epiphany, and she is also trying to, not trying to, but now she is also actually showing emotion. She's actually expressing for the first time in I don't know why I'm looking at my wrist, I don't have a watch, in episodes.
In a hair past a freckle.
Yeah, in a hair past a freckle of episodes, she finally decides to, not be literally a dead fish with googly eyes.
Yes.
Which is actually something that some Kuwaiti fishmongers got in trouble for, because they were putting googly eyes on dead fish to make them look more fresh.
Where was this?
In Kuwait.
Oh my god.
Some police officers were like, you can't fucking do this. They're like, okay, we'll stop.
That is awesome.
Dead fish with googly eyes. So yeah, they have their little debate in the chapel after she experiences the date rape drug again, where the white snake follows her.
Yes.
And then they actually come across a real white snake, which is much smaller, and white snakes I think are usually considered sacred, so of course they kill it.
Yes.
And she also stabbed the portrait of the white snake, so they're all going to hell.
Mm-hmm.
So,
that's a guarantee.
Yeah, guarantee. I still believe that she is the owner of the bottom first floor. That's my guess.
The bottom first floor.
B1, because we're on B2 right now.
Yeah. I just want to make sure I know which floor you're referring to.
Yeah.
So you think she owns basement 1?
Yeah.
Okay. You think Rachel owns basement 1?
That would be my guess. Yeah, I would say that. Either that, or she just wakes up from a coma. That would also really suck, and I would hate the show for doing that.
Would you be okay if it was her parents that were on B1?
That makes sense, yeah.
Okay. Because I think there will definitely be something about Rachel on B1, but I'm wondering if it's not going to be like her parents, and we're going to find out how they both died.
Oh, so like she'll be confronting literally the ghosts of her parents.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you meant alive or dead, because there's still that dead lady in the opening. We still don't know who she is.
Well, I assume they're both dead because we saw the snake painting that we saw in her like flashback thing.
It was a sheep.
Well, no, there was also a snake.
No, but it was a sheep that they come out of.
Yeah, it was the sheep that they come out of. But that's what I'm saying. Like we saw the snake ones. That means the rest of those paintings exist.
Yeah.
So are we going to see? And I don't remember if we saw like a white snake start to come out of that painting before she slashed it.
No, so she slashed it, and I believe behind it was a hole, and the white snake kind of just looked through.
Okay.
So it wasn't coming out of the painting, there was just a hole behind it. So it's not something supernatural happening with the painting. It was just bad maintenance of the house, of the building.
Well, no, I'm talking about when she was in the ghost, or not the ghost realm, but when she was in like the fucking purple bad touch zone, when we first saw the painting. There was like a ghost snake, like, ooh, and then she slices all the paintings around her, and then we see the lamb painting.
Yes, I believe the white snake was coming out.
Okay. The lambs, Patrice. Are they still screaming? Was that her name, Patrice? I don't remember her name.
Claire.
Claire. So you're right. That was that was a bizarre movie.
I feel like I love Silence of the Lambs. Such an awesome movie. Anyways, I just remembered there was a reference to Silence of the Lambs in Fairly Odd Parents.
Really?
Yeah. One of the anti-fairies called the anti-Wanda Claire multiple times for some reason. Like the genius Cosmo.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he calls someone Claire in a very creepy, somewhat Anthony. I don't remember his last name. Anthony Hopkins' voice. Yeah.
Weird.
Mm-hmm. They did a lot of those types of references. They also referenced The Godfather with the fucking horse head.
Yeah, the horse head. I remember that. But they do that more in like a comical way, don't they?
Yeah, but even with the Claire thing, they do it in a comical way as well.
Oh, okay.
It's always fun to see kind of more adult references in children's TV shows. It's kind of funny.
It is interesting. It's always interesting to see how they work them in.
Anyways, back to Sasori no Tenshi. We end the episode where she's resolute and decides to go into the pew, I believe it's called, where the sermon takes place. I haven't been inside a church.
But yeah, she enters. She's going into the chapel.
Chapel. I thought they were in the chapel.
I think of the chapel more as like
Where you
it is
sit.
the place where the pews are and where the pulpit is, where the priest gives the sermon.
Okay. I'm surprised we haven't had a confessional scene yet.
Yeah. I mean, there was the confessional box, but she like went in there and then immediately went out, and I was very shocked that there wasn't like a sit here and confess your sins kind of moment.
I'll be honest, I'm glad she left because she would have gotten bad touched.
Yes, she would
It's
have
a very
gotten
small
the fucking
box.
no touch.
There's a priest in there. It's just not fun times.
Yeah. At the end of it, you have to give penance, and the
Oh.
priest assigns you the penance to give. Yeah,
No, thank you.
that's the moment for the bad
Not
touch to
again.
come. It's also the perfect for Catholics because you don't get to look at each other. What we have here is a glory hole.
I watched that episode. You just gotta close your eyes and pretend she's a girl. How are you gonna pretend she's a girl if there's a penis in the hole? Oh yeah, Dennis, I can't pretend you're a woman.
Oh, it was so great. I love that.
So on to the most emotionally draining of the 3 shows we've watched.
Yes, and the reason we saved this for last because it was
I would have gone with it first.
It was
So you get out of the
heartbreaking.
way. Yo,
the
they killed my man Shorter.
they killed Yo Boy Shorter.
I fucking love that guy.
There
He's
was
fucking dead.
this episode was wall to wall just bad. Like most of the episodes so far have been like some good with the bad. This was just wall to wall bad.
We
There was
got
the bad touch. There was almost the bad
almost
touch.
the bad touch, yes.
There was friend on blue violence.
Oh no, yeah. So the episode starts out with Shorter and Eiji and Yu Wang Yu
Yut Lung.
Lu Yung Lu Yung. Yes.
I think so.
Finally
I
meeting-
haven't yet really heard them pronounce his name. I feel like they keep calling him like YL, or they say it so quickly I can't register what his name is. But it's spelled like Yut Lung, so
Oh,
I assume
well-
it's pronounced similar to that.
Regardless, that's a good nickname. YL Eiji, who I hated this episode, and Shorter all decide, well, not sorry, they don't decide anything actually.
No,
They're in
they
a position
decide
of not deciding
zero
anything.
things.
They are
Eiji is
placed.
still asleep at the beginning of this episode and decides nothing.
They are placed in front of Dino, where Dino takes Shorter away from Eiji because he really wants Eiji.
Yeah. After last episode where Shorter was like, if anybody touches Eiji, I'll kill us both. How quickly Shorter and Eiji were pulled apart was sort of sad.
I mean, it makes sense. At least they're being smart about it. They're like, yo, this guy's crazy. Let's just, separate this, or else no one's gonna be happy.
Yeah. It does make sense, but I was also like, my boy Shorter was giving me so much hype of like, I won't let them touch you no matter what happens. I will kill you and myself before that happens. And then it was like the first 5 minutes, they're like, alright, let's just separate this immediately. I'm just like, my boy, I believed in you.
So they split Shorter and Eiji. Eiji wakes up while they're taking Shorter away. He's in disbelief that Shorter could betray him, but what you gonna do when your sister's getting
Yeah. Getting held or almost held hostage. You're getting blackmailed with your
basically
sister.
hostage, yeah. So they take him away. Dino talks about how he's gonna destroy them, I believe. Right? That was some of the lines that he says. Gonna
Something to
destroy
that effect.
Something in front of Ash as well.
Yeah.
and
he
this
basically introduces himself as Ash's owner, and he's like, I'm gonna lure Ash here with you, and I'm gonna just destroy everybody.
Yeah. So that's exactly what happens. Ash, handcuffed, is in a plane, and then they head over to New York.
Right. Okay, so first of all, while we were in that plane, was it just me, or were there only the 3 main characters in that plane?
They were stuck in a back compartment of the plane.
Yeah, they were in like the cargo bay, but like when you see them, it's just Ash, Max and other Japanese man, Abe. eBay. You're right. And the professor is definitely not in that scene, and yet he shows up later, out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the three of them are just chilling, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, the professor is still here."
I mean, it could always be somewhere else, but yeah, it would have made sense to actually show him with them. Or
Yeah,
at least mention that he's somewhere else if you weren't going to show it. Okay.
right.
Anyways,
I just thought it was bizarre. I had forgotten from last episode that the professor was being brought with, and so when you see him later in the episode where he's just being held by some other guys, I was surprised for a moment. I was like, "When the fuck did this guy get here?"
hey, this guy's right here. This is interesting. Plot
fucking
hole.
nerd.
Anyways, yeah, Rapist kind of makes fun of them a little bit, and then heads off to the front of the airplane, and so begins the dinner party.
Yes.
Where it is YL, eBay, Max, AG, and then finally Ash shows up, and they all sit together. Dino says some really rapey things and about how his jade earring costs a lot of money.
Yes.
And then the Dino guys come in.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
other
first
hostages.
Dino is like, "You need to remember that I taught you everything you know. Like, oh, I'm so glad that you remember all these things, and I paid for so much money, and
You owe
it
me.
like, it was basically implying like I bought you, I'm continuing to buy you, I still own you." Ash was also looking fucking smexy in that suit when he walked in. He was the only one who was rocking the suit, in my opinion.
I thought they were all rocking it, except for the Rapist.
Oh, Dino?
Yeah, Dino.
Okay. When you referred to the other guy's rapist, I was like, Rapist wasn't in the scene.
Oh, sorry. Rapist number 57.
Yeah, older rapist. Gay
Leader
rapist.
Leader rapist.
Leader rapist. Leader of the rapist gang.
Yeah. So the guns come in and they're like, "Yo, bitches, I'm taking you three to the dungeon. I'm taking you two to my dungeon."
Yes.
I shouldn't be joking about this.
You really should not be joking about this.
They get sent to his bedroom. At least it's implied, or maybe the next day they get sent over to his bedroom.
No, so the bedroom scene actually came before.
What did?
Yeah, because they call off the bedroom thing because he tells YL that he's like, "Oh, Ash just showed up and we're bringing him to dinner and you have to come with." And then YL and AG have their conversation about like, "How are you okay with this? The shit's fucked, yo."
No, but YL escapes, and that's when he sees the shit going down in the basement. I
No.
think
No, there's no way. Because the only reason that the bad touch doesn't happen is because Ash shows up. That's why the bad touch gets called off. Is because Ash shows up in New York and Dino is like, "Well, I can't bad touch you guys right now. Ash just showed up and I have to go organize a dinner party. YL, get dressed, you're coming with."
I think you're right. Yeah. Wait.
And then,
I
yeah,
think they get placed back into the room though at some point.
back into what room?
The bedroom,
Into
because
the-
YL
into the-
escapes because he figures out the number.
Oh, yeah, I think YL gets put back. I think only AG gets taken down to the basement.
I thought they were
Because
there
YL
together.
gets treated like a guest, and so I'm assuming after the dinner, Dino was like, "Take this guy back to the bedroom," and then AG gets taken down to the worst touch basement.
I might have to go through it again just to see it, but okay.
I'm pretty sure that's the correct order of operations.
Well, whatever. We'll see. Whatever. Anyways, let's get to the bad part.
Yeah,
The worst part.
the worst touch bed. After the bad touch bedroom, we have the worst touch basement.
Well, first we have the worst touch lab.
Oh,
Where
right, there is also the worst touch lab.
They give Shorter the injection, which turns him fucking nanners.
Yeah.
And despite
In the most heartbreaking moment of Shorter losing his mind live and in color. That was
they incept him into hating AG. But here's one thing that it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Across multiple things that I'm not making that joke. God damn
that's really touchy.
Wait, I lost my train of thought. Right when they're like incepting him with like hating AG, I'm pretty sure AG knows what Banana Fish does. So during the entire part, he could have yelled out, fucking kill someone else, not me, and it still
Yeah.
could have had the same effect. Shorter could have like been incepted to hate literally anyone else, but Age's just like watching it happen. He's like, I'm okay with this. If you hate me and try to kill me, I understand. You know, you're a drug. It doesn't matter.
I thought it was kind of funny that I feel like maybe I think I read something that wasn't actually written, or maybe this was an error in translation. But I feel like in this episode, when they were like, "Oh yeah, we're going to inject him with the banana fish drug," and then they're like, "And then we're going to subliminally message him to, you know, do whatever we want," and then we have like the mind, you know, the Inception scene. That was not subliminal at all.
No,
that was
like,
very overt.
Yeah, you're like, dude, hate this guy. And he's like, okay, I'm on banana fish. I understand. I'll hate that guy.
Yeah, that's not subliminal. Like, nothing about that is subliminal. That was very overt.
That's what pissed me off. H at any point could have like undone it, or at least like mitigated it.
Right.
Instead, he just fucking does nothing. Which I really hope I want him to be more of an active character, trying to fix shit instead of just passive and letting stuff happen to him.
I mean, okay. The alternative is we have a scene in which they inject Shorter with the banana fish drug. AG screams out like, "Kill the doctor instead!" And then they're like, "Fuck you!" Knocks him out, you know, gags him, and then has to re-inject Shorter to re-mind meld him and be like, "Okay, ignore that other thing, kill AG instead." Like, it just makes the scene needlessly long if AG gets involved, I feel like.
But at least that shows AG's like trying. He isn't passive. Like, he's actually trying something. Because it won't make it needlessly long. You can always, you know, edit it in a way that, you know, makes it still short. Like that action, that plot point still could have happened in that scene and not.
I mean, they have a lot of stuff to go through. Like, even if it only takes 30 more seconds, that's 30 less seconds that they have to do anything else that they want to do.
Well, think about it this way: the entire time where we're seeing him, like, you know, silent, and he could have said something, they could have just knocked him out instead of having that silent moment.
I mean, but then they have to restart the mind meld.
They would
Like,
have
if
to
he
do
says
it.
anything, then the expectation is that Shorter will remember that thing, and so you have to show that the doctors went through the process of making Shorter forget that thing and only remembered the other thing.
Well, that's bullshit, because later on that same thing happens, but they don't have to re-inject him again. He just gets crazy. Again, you don't have to like redo the drug or even show that. You just need to like.
They never re-hypnotize Shorter.
Yeah, that's the thing. They don't re-hypnotize him.
Yeah,
like,
but if
they get to a
AG gets
point-
involved, they do have to re-hypnotize him.
Not necessarily. I don't know if that's part of the rule of like banana fish. Like, you might not have to do that.
Well, okay, but we never see anybody get two conflicting points of view in Banana Fish. So if AG introduces it, the expectation is that's going to have an effect, and it makes no sense that the doctors would just allow that to happen. They like, if AG shouted something out right there, I would not believe that the doctors would just go, "Oh well, looks like we can't do anything." They would literally just make up another batch of a banana fish, re-inject Shorter, and be like, "Forget what AG just said. He's still the enemy. Kill him worse now." Like, everything he said is a lie. Rip his tongue out for lying to you.
Well, even then, I don't think banana fish would work that way. I don't think you just re-inject someone and redo the hallucination, because they're hallucinating right now. Like, the way I
Yeah, but
remember
that's
it,
the problem. Is like, if AG gets involved, it creates story problems for him for like the whole story. AG can't get involved without creating like a huge problem for the story.
I don't think so. Like, he's so conflicted later on in the episode that like AG screaming at him could have been part of that as well, and it still would have, you know, gone through just fine.
See, but then that would have tainted that scene with, is it just because AG said something, whereas it was much more emotionally powerful in the fact of Ash, like his connection with Ash was so strong that it could overcome the banana fish hypnosis.
Okay.
Like, it had more meaning seeing just Ash by himself be able to get to Shorter than if it had been like, oh, AG said something, and so, you know, the hypnotism was not as strong because AG said something. Like, that would have made it a little less emotionally impactful.
I would still disagree. I still think they could have shown AG trying to do something.
All right, that's fair. They probably could have. I don't think it's as easy as you think it is, but they may have been able to do it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not thinking of.
Yeah. If not in this scene, maybe in the next one, where, you know, he's still on banana fish, he's still hallucinating, so he's still probably, you know, inceptible. Because the way I'm thinking about it is that banana fish doesn't, like, you don't take banana fish and then get incepted. You're kind of like in a constant state of, you know, what's the word? Of like influence. Like he can be
Yeah,
influenced at any point. That's the way I'm thinking about it.
maybe. I don't know. They haven't really explained the rules to the drug very well, so I have no idea.
I don't think they will.
I doubt they
I
will.
hope they do, or at least hope there. I hope that there are at least internal rules to the drug.
I hope so too.
Because like at
I
some
don't
point,
know if we'll ever explain it because it seems like so untested that if anybody ever comes out and it's like, oh yeah, this is exactly how it works, I'll kind of question how that person knows all of the rules to Banana Fish.
well, not even that, like not even characters in the know, but just like as the writer herself, like has rules set for the drug
Oh
that
yeah,
she won't break.
I
That's what
hope
I
that
want.
yeah, I hope that that is held. Yes,
Um,
I would question if it is explained in universe, but out of universe, I do hope that there are hard rules that will be followed by the writer and by the people who are adapting it.
yeah. Anyways, yeah, we don't know much about the drug yet. But anyway, moving on. Shorter, is incepted. He has to get into a knife fight with AG. AG doesn't take the knife and tries to well, actually, he doesn't even try to persuade him. I think he says like 2 or 3 things. It's mostly Ash again, trying to talk Shorter out of it, and then Arthur, kind of just jacking off in the corner. I
More
mean,
or less.
he might have, he should have been just jacking
He
off in the
pretty
corner.
much could have.
That's in character for him at this point.
He's getting up his like revenge porn fantasy, so it makes sense if he was.
So yeah, once again, Ash tries to reason with Shorter, try to get him, on his side, trying to persuade him and form that connection again with him. We see a glimpse of it occur for just a short second, but he falls back in the hole and decides that he's gonna stab the shit out of what's his face, out of AG during this
Yes.
time. Arthur lets go of like the lever, which lets Ash get close to the gun that he had given him, and he decides to shoot Shorter and sort of lose AG.
Yes.
And Shorter's now dead. My favorite character is gone, and I'm gonna take a shot.
I would say pour
Of
one out for the
water.
homies, but we're both in our. I'll take a shot of water then as well. Ugh,
Oh,
I almost
that water,
breathed that in.
that water goes down hard.
Pour one out for your homies, except for not really, because I'm in my room and I don't want to pour stuff on my carpet.
Just pour stuff in your trash can.
I don't have a trash can
Is
around
it
me.
one of those mesh trash cans?
Yeah. Those are my trash cans upstairs. Um,
Yeah, that is the end.
Yeah.
Shorter's dead. Ash
Shorter
is
is gone.
mentally destroyed. AG's still a fuck up. And Ute Long, or YL,
YL.
Watch this happen. I hope YL becomes the next Shorter. Who knows? Actually, I hope that Asian kid we saw earlier in the episode becomes the next Shorter. I have high
Yeah.
hopes for him.
So just before we went into the worst touch, the worst touch bed, god damn it. So we had the bad touch bedroom and the worst touch lab, and then we have the worst touch dungeon. So in the worst touch, before the worst touch dungeon, we have the scene with the 2 gangs, like the Shorter's old Chinese gang and Ash's old gang, where they basically agree to like team up to invade the mansion and rescue Ash and dead Shorter.
Yes. So the two
Who they
teams
don't know
come
is
together,
dead.
and they're like, "Yo, let's fuck with Golzina," and both of them are like, "Fuck yeah!" I think.
And the Chinese gang is like, everybody just told us to betray, but we will not betray Shorter. He's our only boss. So it's gonna be real bad when they get there and they're like, oh yeah, FYI, Shorter's dead.
I mean, at this point, that's cemented like them hating Golzine. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna be on Ash's side from there on. But he still has a kind of a mean look to him in the opening, so I'm not so sure what's gonna happen with that. I hope they stay friends, but we'll see.
Speaking of the opening, I didn't notice it until until this episode, but like one of the last scenes is like a close up on Shorter, and like specifically it's like his head, like or not his head, it's like his shoulders and like a little bit of his chin,
Oh yeah.
and you see YL like come out of the darkness and kind of like wrap around his side.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I did not notice that until this episode, so it's interesting seeing the episode, or interesting seeing the intro and seeing all of, like the stuff that they put in reference to the episodes.
Yeah, like the new Asian gang is there as well. YL was there. He is one of the characters that shows up kind of like in red and black and white behind Ash, along with Dino and Arthur. So I think YL is going to become more of a like a third antagonist.
Uh-huh.
Who, like kind of shares a similar goal, but is still an antagonist.
Right.
But I'm not too sure.
Well, it's interesting because I thought YL was going to be more of like almost like a neutral or like almost a ally by proxy, in that they were both going to have like similar enemies. Because I feel like YL is going to go for like fucking salt the earth on his family.
I'm pretty sure he does want to do that.
Because it did not look like he was very thrilled last episode when he was getting sold off.
No, I think he specifically says, like, I'm going to kill them. Like, I'm going to kill his brothers or something.
I think you're right.
So I'll be waiting for that, because that'd be sweet, sweet revenge, and
yeah,
that might be fun.
You need to get one back for your boy Shorter, who got.
I don't think he cares about Shorter.
Well, I mean, he doesn't care about Shorter, but everybody who hurt Shorter, for us, the audience, we need to see them pay. Those Chinese gangs, if they had not blackmailed Shorter's sister, he would not have been killed.
Nope. Shorter's still alive, I believe.
He is not.
I believe
he is not alive. He is not alive, Brandon. I was with you with the Satsuki no Tenchi thing, and like if this was a normal anime, I'd be like, maybe he's still alive. He got shot through the heart, and he is not okay.
And he's to blame.
Fucking Golzine and Banana Fish and the fucking fuckhead doctor too.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Although he's aged very well compared to his brother.
Yes, he has.
Like,
he's either significantly younger or his age is significantly better.
I don't think he's significantly younger because they both had PhDs at the same time.
You're probably right. I don't think he's significantly younger either, but like his brother is like graying, and the crazy doctor is like still got a full head of fucking curly red hair.
Yeah, like his skin is also looking well. Do you think he uses product?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
It's confusing because it's also the 1980s. It's simultaneously the 1980s and the 2010s, so it's very weird to talk about this show.
Actually, like back in the 1980s, they were rocking out that hair metal style. Actually, I wonder if they were. Let's look at this. Banana Fish or Abraham. Do I see a picture of Abraham? I do not.
I thought it was interesting. I thought it was not interesting. I just thought it was very funny that the newspaper that Golzine was reading was it was in English, and it had like actual news titles.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I just saw a spoiler. Huh. I wonder if people are looking for that, or looking forward to that.
Well, don't tell me, or the non-existent audience.
What the fuck's going on here?
I want to be surprised by everything, just like fucking Rip Shorter. If somebody had told me that he died 9 episodes in, I would have gotten way less attached to him than I did.
I was actually going to tell you that. I was browsing Reddit yesterday, and I saw a fan art post for Shorter, and I think the title was, it wasn't Rest in Peace Shorter, but it was, I wanted to draw Shorter after the plot points. I forgot what the exact title was. After the plot points of episode 9. And like I saw the fan art, just standard fan art, him standing around. But the moment I saw that post, I was like, Shorter's gonna die. Shorter's dead. He's gone.
That was the death flag. It raised your death flags for Shorter. You knew.
Yeah. I was like, oh, well, he's gone. Press F.
I did not know. So watching Shorter die live and in color 3 hours ago was it was brutal.
You know whose reaction I'd love to see?
Whose?
Jeffries.
You know who's, he would have to show up.
Yeah, you know whose reaction we're not going to get?
Jeffries.
Yeah.
He may make an appearance next season. If he comes back this season at all, I will be amazed.
You're talking to him like he's like some fucking recurring character.
I mean, it's fair at this point. He is basically a reoccurring character on the podcast.
Or hear me out. We can switch him out with David. I actually asked him to come on today's podcast.
Did you?
Yeah, he was like, not today. But maybe next
Okay.
week. I told him come next week, so we'll see.
All right, we'll see. We may have a guest appearance that may turn into our next reoccurring character.
Friendship ended with Jeffrey.
New friendship started with David.
Now David is my best friend.
I've been here the whole time. Notice me.
But in about 3 weeks, we have to choose our new shows.
We do.
Yeah.
Okay, so first, before we discuss the potential for choosing new shows, things that we have not covered from before that we've talked about covering.
Fuck right.
My ball.
I'm still have not caught up, but
How far are you through it right now?
I'm still at the point where they're in like that shitty hotel and they're all sleeping together.
Okay.
So like 1/4 of the way through.
Yeah, you're still pretty early. You're like somewhere in the 20s or 30s.
Would you like to hold off, or should we at least talk about what this?
We'll talk a little bit about it.
My
We'll talk a
Ball,
little bit more about it when you get through it.
Yes, My Ball is the story of a
Yes.
girl. Well, I mean, yeah,
high
she's
school
a
girl?
girl.
For first year high school girl?
I don't know. I don't remember.
They're definitely first years. I just don't remember if they're high school or middle school. But I'm pretty sure they're high school.
I thought they were high school. I thought they were like 15 or 16.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It makes the naked scenes way less weird if they're high school girls.
Anyways, My Ball is the story of I'm pretty sure it's high school soccer team, or the inception of a high school soccer team, wherein our main character hasn't actually played soccer at all throughout her life, but she has practiced with her friend, Guy
Character. Coach is
Coach.
how I start to think of him.
who's only practiced with Coach, I can't say this in Japanese, but her childhood friend. I was gonna try to, but like
Osananajimi.
I saw the letters in my mind, and I was like, you know what? Fuck that shit.
It's got too many of the same syllables in a row for me.
There's like consonants next to each other. It just doesn't make sense. Fuck that.
It's like names of things in Iceland, where it's like there are way too many J's and not nearly enough vowels.
Exactly. Anyways, her childhood friend. He is a fucking prodigy at soccer, and because of this, she's actually gotten a pretty good, at least training in, kicking the ball, passing the ball. She's basically, a
Trapping
rock
the
star.
ball.
Yeah, she's a very good soccer player without playing soccer. She's a very good
She
solo
has the
soccer player.
fundamentals down.
Yes, the fundamentals are there.
She knows the concept of playing soccer, but she's never played it as a team sport before.
She kicks the ball good.
Yes, and she fantasizes.
Oh my god.
good.
She is exactly how every single mid or high school boy thinks.
Yes.
She's like she's the epitome of that. This girl is constantly daydreaming about fucking everything.
Everything.
And fucking isn't the adjective. Or, when I say fucking, I'm not using that as an expletive.
She wants
it's both.
anything that comes within her bone radius. She wants to bone and imagines boning it.
Whether it be the ball, a girl, or her best friend, she just wants to like touch everything sexually. This girl is fucking nanners.
Yeah, she is fucking buku for just getting it in.
But she decides, after this crazy blonde-haired kid finds out that she's kind of good at soccer and decides
Blonde-haired girl.
Kid, girl, whatever. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is important to note that other
she's a
than
girl.
Coach, basically everybody else that will occur in this series is a girl.
Yes. Best girl teacher, by the way, who shows up, I think, chapter 10. Anyways. She's always the best girl.
Brandon on that MILF hunt.
She's like 22.
It's still a MILF hunt. She's the oldest character in this.
No, because there's all those other old guys.
Okay, they don't count because they're not
fine.
ladies.
Named character. I don't even know her name. I just know her as teacher. Anyways, blonde hair is like, yo, I want you on my team. But then she finds out that she's fucking terrible at playing the actual team sport, but she knows that she can get it down. So she decides, that she should join her team after challenging her to a solo soccer match, wherein she fantasizes that she's gonna fuck her best friend and gets the ball and she just gets it in. Not in her daydream, but at least
Almost in her daydream.
Almost in her daydream, but she gets the ball in to the goal. Oh my god, this This entire thing's a metaphor, Nick.
Oh, are you? Wow, I'm glad that you are the one who talks through this, so I can listen live and in color as you learn the metaphors.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
She can get it in real life, but
That's
not in
why.
dreams.
That's why in the later chapters, when she starts having problems fantasizing about getting it in.
Oh
she
my
doesn't
god, she can't get
anymore.
it.
She can't get it in anymore. You're starting to learn how the fantasies work.
That's her superpower.
It's a great superpower to have, isn't it?
The ludus like gets turned up to 11.
Yes, that's exactly how it works.
Oh my god, this show needs a fucking anime.
It would be a great anime.
I'm such a fucking idiot.
I need another sports anime to watch, and if this one got adapted, I would be so thrilled.
Anyways, yes. That's the rundown. It is their soccer team.
Yes,
She is the postman position.
she is the postman, so essentially she plays probably like center forward.
Forward,
and
or maybe middle. Is it middle?
well,
No,
she
because
plays.
the other girl's the middle, because she like just runs like a fucking dog.
Yeah. So they play a really weird formation because they play the 4-1-2-1-2 wide, which is in my opinion a horrible formation to play for their team because it's a very offensive heavy formation and their defense is fucking garbage,
Hey.
or at least it should be.
Well, yeah.
And so yeah, like they play this 4-1-2-1-2 wide, and so the main character and the other blonde-haired the blonde-haired captain are like dual strikers.
more ways
And the
than
reason
one.
that main character is the postman is because she has to receive the post from somebody else and then distribute it to their other striker for the goals.
She wants to receive, all right.
She wants to both be receiving and giving. She wants to be giving and taking. It's yeah. Our postman is great. All hail the postman.
Well, fuck you. All hail fucking the captain. Anyways,
Oh.
all hail the captain. Yeah, it's a pretty fun manga. Really funny. The soccer scenes are pretty good too.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like that they do go into a little bit about like the formation and like the different actual like soccer tactics. Like you see them do gegenpressing at one point and they actually like explain how it works and why it works and where it comes from and stuff. So like there was some research that went into like actual soccer tactics. It's not like they just use like, oh, it's a soccer show to have girls in like tight shorts that run around and bump into each other. Like they do, the artist does seem to care about the sport enough to make it like worthwhile. So it's really cool.
It's if I were to use an analogy, it is what Food Wars is to cooking.
It is what Food Wars is to cooking. That is a
Yeah.
good way to describe it. Although it's way lewder in my opinion. Because Food Wars is only like lewd adjacent most of the time.
It's
whereas
lewd curious.
Yeah. Whereas this is like just everybody.
Everybody now.
Everybody gets it in.
Oh my god.
It also starts real early. It's like the 5th or 6th chapter after their one-on-one where the main character wakes up and, well, she thinks she wakes up. It's actually a daydream. And she just imagines the captain naked and she's just like, I want to pluck this flower. That I'm like, holy god, this girl, she is thirsty.
Yeah, she's all about literally anything.
Literally anything. Up until that point, you don't really realize it too, because she has this like thing for Coach, who is also a high school boy. We should say he's not like an adult
An actual
man.
coach.
Yeah. So high school boy Coach, she has like a huge thing for him, and they have this whole ritual that they have to do so that she can perform in public, which
Well,
involves like groping
either
each
of
other
them.
and kissing.
Well, both of them have that ritual.
Yes. But yeah, so like up until that point, it's like, oh, she's just like, you know, she wants the Coach's D, and then you have that scene, you're like, oh, she wants anything that moves. Interesting.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting plot development.
And then later on, she like imagines the other two strikers from the other team just getting it on, and she just watching.
Yeah. Oh my god. This show is, or this manga is,
This hopefully
It's
future
great.
show.
futures. Oh my god, I would contribute money to making this a show.
Just throw it in.
It is delightful, in my opinion.
Yes, I recommend it. Very fun show. God damn it!
Manga.
And manga. In other manga news, well, actually, Nick, in news you'd like, Rising the Shield Hero is coming out winter 2019, which I think is next season.
Winter 2019.
Yes, which is No, this is summer. Coming out next year, January.
Okay. I always forget when like seasons start, so it's
Yeah.
coming out in January, February
Yes,
time.
we're in
Okay.
summer. Next up is fall. Ends in winter. Winter starts. Boom, we're gonna get Rising the Shield Hero. We
Okay.
will also be getting this other anime based off this manga I was reading, wherein once again people are having their waifu wars or whatever, but they're all fucking wrong because there's a teacher, so obviously she's the best girl already. But Sensei Squad, you're up.
MILF hunters hunting for MILFs. Do, 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 do,
I
do.
don't even know the fucking name of this manga, but it's what I explained earlier in this actually in one of the earlier episodes.
Did you?
Yes, it is about this kid who, God damn it, he's a smarter kid in high school.
Okay.
Along comes these two girls who want to get tutored in different subjects. One girl who's super smart in English wants to become an astronomist, but she fucking sucks at math or anything science related. This other girl who's really good at math and numbers and shit wants to become a psychologist, but doesn't know what emotions are. So he has to teach both of them the opposite subject that they're good at.
Okay.
And that's how it starts out. So you get those two girls. Later on comes his childhood friend who's a swimmer, who's an absolute fucking idiot. She joins the harem. Next up comes this college chick who looks younger than she is. She's just there because she just wants to fuck something apparently. So she joins the harem. And then comes along teacher who just wants someone to clean her house and just do everything for her. She's an absolute lazy piece of shit, but goddamn isn't she fucking smoking.
It's like the opposite of P5 teacher. Instead of her cleaning your house, you have to clean her house.
She's actually the exact opposite, yeah. Also, she's got a mean stare down, which is 100% in my book.
Yeah, that's what you're all about. Still surprised that you went with police woman. I'm still surprised that you picked police woman's sister. That you do not agree with me that police woman was the superior of the Makoto twin.
You can't even choose her, so it doesn't matter.
She was still the superior option.
Makoto wants the best of me.
The police woman would look at you in disgust, and you know it.
She's
you
a
know
detective. She's not a police woman.
Or I'm sorry, detective. Detective lady would look at you in
There's
disgust.
a very specific difference, Nick.
I know, I'm
I
aware.
don't know what it is, but there's a difference.
How much training you have to go through, and like you actually have to take tests to become a detective.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Not some beat cop.
yeah. You do actually have to work up to it, and they have to choose you. It's not just like, oh, you've been here long enough, you're a detective now. Like you actually have to get picked.
Yeah, but yeah, this manga was talking about. Apparently, it's fairly popular. When the news showed up on Reddit, it was pretty highly upvoted. I was surprised
Okay.
because I just thought it was an okay show or an okay manga.
Okay, manga.
Yeah, Bokutachi wa Benkyo ga Denkinai. Benkyo, I think, is studying. I know Bokutachi's like me.
Sure.
I don't know what Denki is. Although there is a kid called Denki in Naruto, probably because that means studies. Oh my god.
Brandon learning things live on ABC.
Just there's so much to learn, guys.
Come for the joke. Come for the shitty jokes. Stay for the Brandon learning.
Along with that, Kaguya-sama was also announced, and I talked about that as well. What else was announced? Who the fuck knows? We'll get to it when we get to it. Next up is going to be winter 2018. Fall. Seasons, how do they work?
Were you gonna give me the that you give me when you're
No, I was thinking of what to say.
Brandon, defeated by his own words, can only retaliate with
But yeah, fall's next. Anything else you would like to talk about?
No, there is not. There was stuff that we could talk about, but basically I'm going to say this to our non-existent community. Just follow the Bill and Ted rule and just be excellent to each other. And that's all that I have to say.
Oh, fuck that shit.
No, we can't say fuck that shit. Like, people are just too fucked up, and I'm just gonna say, like, just be excellent to each other.
Oh.
Like, the world's fucked up. People have all these, like, fucked up opinions about how shit should be, and I don't want to get involved in it. I don't want to make this, like, weird and political, so I'm just gonna say, standing rule, the Bill and Ted rule, be excellent to each other. And that's all that I have to
Live
say
out your
about
lives like it's always sunny. That's the best way to live.
False.
Go smoke a crack rock. Go do some cocaine. Don't blame me when your life goes to shit.
For the record, ABC does not endorse drug use.
Go watch It's Always Sunny. I love that show.
You should watch it. You should go watch It's Always Sunny if
I'm
you've
an
not.
awful
It's a
person.
phenomenal show.
I'm gonna sell out to Teostra, because that Teostra that we fought a couple of days ago, man, he gave
my
Nick
God.
the work. Holy crap! I died first, but man, he positioned himself behind Nick, and Nick was receiving everything.
He gave me all of the fucking. He gave me like the 9 yards. It was bad. I got bent over both of the barrels. It was uncomfortable to be me. Like, bro, you got killed by the one hit, like essentially the one hit kill move. I
Someone
got
didn't flash bomb him.
okay, but to be fair, it was the first time that he did it. Like, we didn't know what the animation looked like.
Oh right. I think my exact words were, "Oh wait, what's he doing?"
Yeah. And then we both went, oh, and it just says you die. I was just
Brennan has
dying.
fainted.
So that was surprising. But yeah, I got reamed by this Teostra. It was brutal.
And then we beat the shit out of a fetus dragon.
Oh yeah, the poor fetus dragon.
I think it's very
There were a
creepy.
lot of tasteless abortion jokes that were made in that fight.
Fun shit. I love Monster Hunter.
That's yeah. I'm going to sell out to the Overwatch Contenders League. It's like the Overwatch League, but it's for people who want to get involved in the sport. And I think it's really cool, and I think more people should go watch it on Twitch and support people trying to achieve their dreams. Because I feel like they don't get enough like notice by the Overwatch League community. And with free agency coming up and people need to get signed, I hope some guys from the Contenders League get to live out their dreams in the Overwatch League. Especially with 2 or 3 new teams opening up this season. So I wish them all the best. So I think more people should go watch the Overwatch Contenders League.
Okay. I'm gonna have one more sellout here to
Alright.
this wonderful poster for Gundam, which I don't know what's going on, but it's fucking great.
Wow, that is it's like almost Star Wars inspired.
It's like Star Wars inspired, fucking Joe-esque with like the whole pose thing going on. That pose looks very 80s.
It does. Well, it's the
Oh yeah, like the light coming down to his like arm.
it's
Definitely.
hold on. I want to see if I can. I don't want to say this and be wrong, and everybody be like, "You're so wrong," because it's a Star Wars thing.
Who's everybody?
I mean, and literally anybody who watches this, because, you know, they have the benefit of being able to Google it and then be like, Nick was so wrong about this. It was obviously this other one.
We should not just call you the fatty.
Ouch. That fat kid. He's a fat kid. How could he not know Star Wars? All fat kids know Star Wars.
Which reminds me, there was like the funniest depiction of an absolute fucking nerd in Asobi Asubase.
In Aso Asabase?
Yeah. His man was just like a fucking goblin.
Oh
my god.
Jesus. Why do you have to describe it that way?
This episode was pretty fucking funny. Like, it was just so much to take in. One of the characters, I told you before, one of the characters pretends that she knows, that she isn't Japanese and pretends she knows English.
Yes.
She gets nominated to have to perform an English speech in front of the class. Well, she doesn't know English, so she don't want to do it. So they hatch up a plan, and one of Rich Girl's, like, I guess, subordinates brings over an android, a machine that her subordinate built from the old sex dolls from her grandfather.
Ooh,
learns,
spicy.
who knows how to speak in English, but according to him, he said, I have programmed him with everything that your father knows. Lo and behold, this android starts cussing up a fucking storm and like beating the shit out of everyone. At some point, this android starts to like strangle the teacher
Oh
and
my.
call her a fucking bitch.
Ooh.
This was yeah.
And this was all from just the one android just fucked up the entire classroom.
Well, they weren't gonna they didn't put them in front of the classroom just yet. This was like a potential.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This looks very yeah.
A preliminary screening to right?
It's very pulpy too.
Yes. So it was the Star Wars movie I was thinking of, A New Hope, with Luke with his lightsaber in the air. His lightsaber in the air. It reminded me a lot of a little bit of the Gundam poster. Has a very similar looking pose.
Yeah, that also has a very pulpy sort of vibe to it as well.
Yeah. So yes, as you were saying, that Gundam poster is like the fucking amalgamation of like 80s movies posters.
And I'm totally digging it. I just that aesthetic. I want to put that on a shirt. I'm digging it.
That'd be quite the shirt. It would be very busy.
Well, you gotta like kind of meld with it a little bit. Take off all the busyness out of it. Basically, just the people is all I really want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Understandable then.
But I got one more compliment about my Gundams at work. So there's that too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Look at you getting compliments about your Gundams.
Yeah.
Was it also by older people at your work rather than
No, it
younger
was some
people?
chick who also builds Gundams. She was like, "Oh, I have a couple too." I'm like, "Okay."
Okay. That's a solid human interaction by Brandon.
I have some too. Would you like to talk about it? No.
Somebody else wants to interact with me about one of my hobbies? No, thank you.
I was just like, "Yeah, okay." Get out of here, I'm working.
Human interaction over.
Beep, boop.
How do I work?
Where's the self-destruct button?
What are emotions? How do they work? Human female wishes to talk with me about robots.
I'm fucking stopping this recording now. Fuck you.
I'm doing the finger thing that you hate.